So you got incarcerated for the crime. So what age did you get incarcerated for the crime that you just got out for?
That was in 1994, June 11th. Uh, I was doing drugs and basically staying in the streets. So I once I got kicked out of school, I went back to the streets and I picked it up and I didn't turn back.
So how was your education back then?
My education, I didn't have it,
No education.
no education.
No one forced you to go to school.
Nah, I was basically fighting with mental illness at the time, but I didn't recognize it. I was known. I knew about it, but I didn't recognize it. I didn't see it as a problem.
Right. So what age did you start seeing the therapist?
I started seeing them that I could remember in '92.
So there is a regulation of you seeing a therapist.
Right.
Okay.
I went.
Prior.
I went to a psych institution in Galveston, and then they released me. Said I was too violent. I was a threat to the other patients.
Mm,
So they kicked me out and sent me to the state school.
right. And when you got to the state school, what happened?
They reevaluated me and put me on medicine. Then by the time it was for me to come home, I got off the medicine
Okay.
because I feel I was all right.
So you leave the medicine and you end up doing what?
Ended up catching the murder case.
Right. So is it safe to say, or can we say the medicine kept you balanced and or?
I say it kept me balanced, but basically using drugs and slow you down
Mm-hmm.
and destroy you mentally.
Right.
So basically, they was over medicating me because of my aggressive behavior.
Right. Right. So I read in your file that for a full month they had you on medicine 4 times a day
Yeah,
for a whole month.
right.
And while you were on that medicine, do you remember or can you recall how it made you feel? Because you ended up getting out after that, but
Right.
they had you on it for a full month.
I didn't feel normal.
You didn't feel normal,
No,
even with the medicine.
not even when it was too much.
Too much.
They was over medicating me to control me.
Right. So you took it in your own hands.
All right.
Right. So once you realized you were over medicated and so to speak, they were just filling you with pills.
Right.
You went and did you take more drugs?
Yeah, I started smoking PCP,
Okay.
and that added more to the problem I was already having.
Okay. For those who don't know what PCP is, it's called WET, and it will have you doing the numerous of things that will.
Hallucinating, uh, paranoid, and have you expressing emotions that you normally don't express.
Right, right, and all of those things within your childhood uh, that happened. You even lost your father at an early
Right.
age, right? And not just that, but abuse,
Yeah.
and then abusing drugs, and then, like you said, the mental
Right.
part, getting to a place of anger,
Right.
maybe rage, and not being able to control it, and then come and encounter with somebody else who maybe have been encountering the same thing. I
Right.
mean, because let's talk about young men for a second, our youth, young boys. Would you agree that not all of them, but they all suffer or go through teenage challenges?
Right. It's the environment and being persuaded and want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to doing that, you basically just fall into the wrong trap and it leads to other things.
Right, right. Which led, going back with you, to decisions with other people
Right.
drugs, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I'm influenced, trying to fit in.
Trying to fit in. Well, you know what? None of that is new in our history these days. We still suffer, and our young men still suffer, and our communities from uh, different lack of, whether it's love, whether it's big brothers, uncles, and the way that our generation and the way that our children are being brought up, they they have, and some children have two-parent homes. But somewhere in there, you would think that they're not getting, or the connection between mom, dad, and family is not there, and it makes a cry. So it's a cry out somewhere else, or it's overlooked. So remember when we talked about being in school and the teachers would overlook you? They would overlook you because of what?
Behavior, class clown.
Mm-hmm.
So they feel that when they get rid of me, they'll pass me on.
Right.
They automatic pass just to get me out the class.
Okay. So again, our community suffers from that still to this day with our kids. And to help get that, or to make that better, it takes, well, I would say that it would take one of those mean grandmamas in those schools with the belt to get you right.
Yeah.
But we can't have that these days. So we have justice systems that take our kids and throw them away with no answers. And they don't give you those answers because they feel like justice has been served.